Hello, welcome to another episode of Crime Pays a Botany Dozen. We're here on Chicago's northwest side to distribute those pot seeds we meant to distribute back in July, and also explore the multifaceted array of various Halloween decorations within some of the Chicago neighborhoods here. So let's go check it out.
I really like that the skeletons and the pumpkin skeleton are having a party here. It's very convivial, as if maybe they're neighbors in this beautiful two-flat here, this yellow stone with the green trimmed windows. You know, that's a beautiful, that is a grand dining room. And, you know, I think the skeletons evoke that, you know, togetherness.
It's true, and I'm curious too with the beige brick. What's going on with all the beige brick in the Chicagoland area, Al?
This is, I think they call this, it's some kind of yellow. I forget the name. Bricks of Chicago going to tell me. There's a name for this. You see it really common in face brick.
Okay, so this is Jonathan and Caroline's house, which we did feature in an episode of Kill Your Lawn. This was just a random, you know, I went rogue and planted all these natives here. You can see you got the rare Iliamna remota, the Kankakee mallow thriving there. They are in the spirit of Halloween, like so many Chicagoans do, and you can see they've decorated appropriately. But turning our attention to this, what's popped up here, you can see we got the big blue stem, the Andropogon gerardii. This is the first season of growth. This was planted exactly a year ago. You can see the Iliamna remota's doing well. Got quite a few. It already flowered. And it looks like it's got decent seeds in there as well. You could see those seeds inside that infructescence right there, those little kidney-shaped seeds. We've also got, this was a volunteer, this Symphyotrichum. This just popped up, blew in from somewhere. Probably came in, you can see it came in with the is that the big blue stem right there? Yeah, it came in with the Andropogon. There's Silphium right there too. That's a first-year Silphium leaf. That's just the invasive, I think it's just the Taraxacum dandelion leaves. But there's the more of the Silphium. Ooh, listen to that. So you can see how scabbard that is. More of the big blue stem did well. When I planted this, someone was initially telling me this was far too close together. It doesn't appear so at all. Seems like it's perfect. It's just right. Maybe in 5 years it'll be too close together, but this is actually pretty perfect. Physostegia over there, Obedium plant doing well. More Symphyotrichum, Erigeron canadensis, the horseweed, which is a very aggressive native over there, and a big blue stem. You can see they're actually topped out. It's about 5.5 feet tall, that big blue stem. So this worked out pretty well. I planted it dense, and there's still room left over. Oh yeah, and there's a Silphium there beneath that Symphyotrichum too. This thing's still flowering. You can see it's just, you know, these high latitudes. The sun's already lower than it would be. It's already darker than it would be at the same time. You know, 20 degrees latitude further south, like where I live in South Texas. But you can see, fall in Chicago is a very special time, is it not, Al?
Oh, the low raking angle of the light, it fills my heart with the sweetest melancholy of days gone past and emotional ruminations.
Yeah, look at it. The Physostegia, the obedient plant's already got seeds in it. Look at that. This is fucking great. There's a shit ton of Silphiums here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They will get massive. Those leaves next year could be upwards of 3 feet tall. Like 3 feet, a single leaf, 3 feet from end to end. But right now, at first year, they're just mainly building roots down. And those roots can go down 30 feet too. This is fucking great. It almost wasn't dense enough. 4 Silphiums, yeah. So pack it tight, just like the prairie. Pack it dense. So this is Jonathan and Caroline's backyard, and this was filmed in Kill Your Lawn, the installation. And this is what it looks like now. You can see the light is going down, but I'm actually going to grab some of these Pycnanthemum seeds here. You can see mountain mint. Oh, it smells incredible. Oregano family. You can see those brown. You're just basically getting all the brown dead flowers, and the seeds will be in there. I'm going to get more. We're going to take this, and with the pot, we're going to go spread it on the train track. So here we go. You can see, look, you got the, what is that? You got a, oh, that's an invasive mulberry. There's plenty of Symphyotrichum. We got a milkweed right there. You can see those carotenoid pigments showing after the chlorophyll has been broken down and reabsorbed by the plant in preparation for winter. Here's the mountain mint. I'll spread some of this here. And now we're going to start spreading the pot. See, so we've dispersed the mountain mint. Now we're dispersing the seeds. Now the railroad will come by occasionally and and spray herbicide, but only on the stuff directly adjacent to the track. That stuff should be fine. But hopefully we'll get a couple feral cannabis seeds sprouting. Now, feral cannabis in Chicago has been an urban legend and also an urban truth for many decades now. Many times when I was younger, I would be walking the train tracks and find feral cannabis plants growing on the sides of the tracks. Okay, sometimes hemp, sometimes seemingly a psychoactive strain, but they do exist throughout power line easements, railroad embankments, etc., throughout the Chicagoland area. And you can see we've got we actually had a few more seeds than this, you know, from willing donors throughout the metro Chicago area who donated cannabis seeds to us. But cannabis is an annual, not a perennial, so it just grows for a season and then dies. But before it dies, it produces tons of seeds. At least the female plants do, and the birds utilize them. Great source of nutrients, and that will many will germinate next year. Some will germinate in a couple years, just laying in wait in the soil seed bank.
We got you put the call out for people to donate these, so we're gonna spread them as promised here. You know, why don't you explain what's happening over here?
That's right. We accepted donations from people within the Chicago tri-state area to donate cannabis, aka Paht, P-A-H-T seeds to us to spread around Chicagoland, and this is the first of many ventures when we will be spreading this. Now, I don't even utilize cannabis. I don't care for it too much. Comes up the gears of my mind a little bit. Once in a while, it can be nice, you know, but we certainly believe in making it more accessible. And cannabis is not native to North America, but if you look around, most of the infrastructure here it's not going to be too harmed by spreading this relatively non-invasive, but also non-native plant. So it's not native, but it's not super invasive here. So, and it will also, I think it will be good. It'll be good for the youth, you know.
And I would like to add that, what we have here in our hand is an agricultural product. This is commercially available, completely legally within the state of Illinois. And what we're doing right now is we're feeding the birds, okay?
This is for the birds. This is for the birds.
This is for the
birds.
I
say it's good for the youth, I mean it's good for the youth to be able to see, to get them into botany. And you can see the birds eating. They're going to see the birds eating the seeds and stuff.
It's basically,
that's all we're talking about.
That's all I'm saying.
He's just putting up living bird feeders. That's what he's talking about.
We're not doing that
you
stuff.
See some of them anthocyanin pigments and they look nice. You say, wow, I didn't know there were so many purples and stuff in there.
It's like a Mary Poppins song.
Right.
And then you just disseminate.
And indeed, the one good thing about cannabis is it's been, a gateway drug, no pun intended, for other people to get into botany. Many people start off with an interest in psychoactive or medicinal products and then later get into, a greater ecological synthesis, como se dice, for the larger perspective. You can hear all that.
You hear that
it's like
sound?
A nice, it almost sounds like one of them rain sticks.
It's like a didgeridoo. No, that's different. It is
no,
like
that's different. Didgeridoo's a tube.
If the train started coming, that'd be a didgeridoo.
Didgeridoo's a big tube.
Let's listen to the sound of the rain stick.
We are trespassing right now, I'd like to mention, on Union Pacific property, but that's neither here nor there. Maybe they were going to make this, they're going to make it a jogging. In post-manufacturing America, they might be making this a jogging trail in the next, decade or so, maybe less. Well, how far is Brickyard Mall from here?
I'm not trying to give away the location, but a couple miles.
Now I put this in my ma's fridge for a while. She didn't know. I told her it was something else. Because she's still, she don't get a little, she's a little spooked by it still, I think. So anyway, this is in her crisper with some non-alcoholic beers and seltzers.
You got a fridge. You got a drawer in the fridge there.
Yeah, but now see, I can still smell the mountain mint all over my hands, the terpenes from the mountain mint. But we're putting this over here. We're going to go spread this over here where there's more plant life, actually. And, it'll be, there's more of a humusy soil. It'll be more beneficial because we got a steep embankment here and it's a little shady. Though I do believe that is a south-facing. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? We're just gonna have to see where it comes up. But we're gonna keep walking and spreading seed as we go. For the most part, at least here, it's mostly native and a bunch of Paht. Okay, it got too dark to film, but you could see all this goldenrod here. This is all solidago It looks like Solidago altissima, but you could see why this is such a great native plant. Why it spreads so easily. You could see how tiny those seeds are. Those little, and they've got those little plumose. See, there's an individual seed right there. See that brown thing at the end of that plumose wind dispersal mechanism they got on top of it? See that with those basically a bunch of little white hairs, a bunch of little white laciniate, well, not laciniate, more like filamentous bracts essentially on top of the seed, and then that seed itself is tiny. That little just lost it. You can see how it gets around, and right here you've got easily thousands of tiny seeds, right? This is also what makes it so heavily invasive in Europe. Goldenrod is extremely invasive in Europe, an ecosystem that didn't evolve in. Oh look, this guy's still going off. You can see the flowers, the flower heads themselves are tiny, and then each one of those little green involucres has many tiny flowers in it, which each one of those tiny flowers then produces a tiny seed, a single tiny seed. So you could see why it's, again, great here where it's native and it evolved, but extremely, quote, problematic in Europe where it's not native, where it's actually a pain in the ass and super invasive. So it's the process of, or the product of mixing ecosystems. It's unfortunate because this is likely smothering a lot of cool natives in Europe, but here it's a great plant, and it evolved with many of the pollinators, which it benefits, that love feeding on the flowers, and also other insects that use Solidago goldenrod as a host plant. But look at that, shitty railroad embankment in Chicago, and it's just doing great. Well, look, see, they put these nice steps here for us to get down off the embankment. How about that? See, railroad ballast mixed with the humus created by decades upon decades of growing and dying, quote, weeds. Another great native plant that's also extremely invasive in Europe, Acer negundo, box elder, which normally when you see it, it's just got those 3 leaves. It's often mistaken for poison ivy, but here it's got 2 separate rows of leaves as well. But and then you can see that farina it's got, that wax, that epicuticular wax it's got on the stem. Great plant here, but invasive as hell in Europe. It's one of the few native trees you'll see on the Chicago River as you get closer to downtown. You can see you got Onathera too. I don't know if that's Missourica, Missouriensis, or what, but it's, you know, the yellow-flowered Onatheras. It's a large genus. The evening primroses. These are the fruits maturing right there. It's an inferior ovary with 4 segments, and those 4-petaled yellow flowers have already fallen off. So you can see you got 4 segments that'll split open, like you see these ones that matured earlier did. You can see you got 4 separate seams right there that they undo from, and then you get a bunch of tiny black seeds popping out of there. This species does very well. It's a native, but it does very well along railroad embankments and polluted industrial waste sites. So as you can see, we're sowing seeds for future generations of birds, and that was the whole purpose of spreading the Paht seeds out. Plus, you want to inventory some of the cool native plants that are, you know, behaving very well in this ecosystem and out-competing some of the invasives. So that's all we got for today. Have a good rest of your day, night, morning, whatever the shit. Go fuck yourself. Bye.